currently making my way downtown, walking fast. I'm going to go see the final chapter of the Star Wars saga, Rise of Skywalker, with my dad. And so, per tradition of being a Star Wars nerd, I thought I'd give a little rundown of what I'm anticipating, what I've seen, what I've learned, what I've loved, what I've lived to love and learn. I'm excited for it, though I have broken the cardinal rule of enjoying things, and I thought it'd be a grand idea to go on any social media sites today, and doing so learned that I should not ever do that because there have been some poor reviews. I don't really care about that, though. It's not going to bother me. Without lingering on it too much, I was not a big fan at all of The Last Jedi. As far as Star Wars movie, it didn't tickle me. And you know how I like to be tickled. So for now, I will talk about what Star Wars is to me. Star Wars is my own focus. Star Wars to me is a weird thing. Back in the 90s, before they came out with the recuts of it, I remember watching it on VHS when it had that like greenish like haze to it. I remember specifically starting with A New Hope because I think my parents did it right, and it was great, and I loved it. I remember the very first thing I remember seeing was the scene towards the beginning when Vader is holding up the guy by the neck. He's off the ground like a foot, and he's like, "Where are all the rebel plans?" Blah, 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 blah. And I like that. And I remember seeing all the movies, and I remember starting in 1997 when they started re-releasing the movies with the Lucas cuts and a little extra there, and I was just beside myself. Back then, I didn't know the difference between good and bad CG, and I didn't. As a kid, you don't really care. So I was pumped because it was magicians that I'd never seen, and starting then, me and my dad went to the opening day. Just an amazing time, and I had so many Star Wars toys growing up, and every Christmas or birthday there was another Star Wars toy I was opening up, Star Wars toy I was opening up, and it was just over the moon when it came to anything Star Wars. So, and ever since then it's been great. When the prequels came out, I was all gung-ho, and that was of course me being on the internet. I'm sure the internet existed, but I wasn't on the internet to see critics' thoughts and all that, and I pushed all that out of my mind because I didn't really want to hear about it. But I loved them all, and I remember as soon as they come, I remember when episode 1 came out, I was in 8th grade. Oh, maybe it was the year 2000, so I was 12, 6th grade. And I went to the theater with my dad after getting home from a field trip. Why it's so specific is because we got back at dark, like 11 o'clock or whatever at night, and we raced to the theater and we saw episode 1, and it was magical. I loved it so much. So now, as the whole thing comes to an end, I'm really excited. I'm going to keep an open mind. I over the past couple weeks, I rewatched 1 through 8 just to kind of get a better refresh. Not like I needed it, but I got a better refresh in my mind of what was going on, what plot points I'm hoping they touch on, this and that. And I sat through Last Jedi with an open mind, picturing it not how it was done, Rian Johnson ruined it, but how I could tie it into the whole saga, to end things. And with that said, I mean, I'm eager to see how it goes. I guess what I didn't like about The Last Jedi, you can see here's a video here that I did about The Last Jedi and what I didn't like about it. So you can check that out if you want. I'm hoping it is concluded in a good way. I trust JJ. I'm not going to expect too much. I barely looked at any anticipation videos. We will see how it goes, and I'm still got a good half an hour before I'm picking up my dad, and then we're going to head to Menor, and then I'm really, really, really excited for it. And this has been before I've seen it. Happy. I expect to be happy on the back end of things too. So, with that said, we'll see ya after. And here's some prep shots.
Hi.
Hi, buddy. Hi. Someone's on the phone to talk to you. Hi, Bob. Who's this, Milo?
Hi, Baba.
Hi, Milo. I love you, buddy.
I got boo-boo on my leg, Papa Boo.
You got a boo-boo on your leg?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, baby. How'd you get a boo-boo?
I found on the ice.
Were you ice skating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. We are an hour ahead.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know, that's okay.
Still, you never know. Never know.
Some of these fanatics that get there, real early and stand in line.
Maybe they're organized. They're all coming together.
Got it.
This is bucket refill too? Right here. And the banner up there said Star Wars. Oh, let's go 2 more up. 2 more up and across. How's this? Good. Scoot down one. Maybe there's like 45 minutes of credits. We don't know that. Yeah, 225 is what I heard. Just Stormtrooper? Yes. I remember last year leaving so upset. All right, well, this is me driving unsafe. So, oh man, just left the movie not too long ago. I'm gonna try to find a place to start and try to keep this spoiler free until I can get my thoughts in order and I can post something that's more detailed, specific on why I loved. Okay, let me backpedal. I loved The Rise of Skywalker. I loved it. It was better than Force Awakens. It took The Last Jedi and it took points that were set up in The Last Jedi and made them work for the storyline. It was incredible. It was well done. J.J. Abrams did an amazing job. And again, I'll go into detail later in a separate video. I don't want anybody to watch this and get spoiled from it. It brought together everything I wanted to be brought together, and it was such an exciting movie, quick-paced. Okay, so let's start. The only negative thing I would put towards the movie was I think the pacing was a bit quick. When the whole movie was ended, I feel like it had to be that quick-paced to get everything in there that needed to be put in there. I feel like if you spread the pace out and slowed it down at all, it would be stagnant. Like, you would lose parts and you would just get lost by things or whatever. I know he's an amazing director and he made an amazing movie, and I can't wait to go. Am I in focus or not? I can't wait to go into more detail about it, but just know that it was incredible and it ended the saga in a way that made me proud to have sustained my fandom of Star Wars for so long. I faltered a little bit after Last Jedi. I was so upset the things that were thrown into canon, the things that were forever going to be part of the universe. But once The Rise of Skywalker, it was one of those situations where, and I kind of hoped going into it, where points that made me upset in Last Jedi were brought back into the main story plot that I was like, okay, this is good, this is incredible, this makes me happy. Things that would have taken away from the story if you hadn't have put it in there. And I was talking to my dad, I almost said if that, like, Last Jedi almost couldn't have existed and it would have been okay. I think 90% of The Last Jedi couldn't have existed and this one existed, but I think for the movie to conclude the way it did and the saga to conclude the way it did, The Last Jedi was that buffer zone that lobbed up a few passes for Abrams to knock him out of the park. He did a great job, and it's just incredible. I'm gonna cut this short. It's probably like a 10-minute video. I'm gonna cut it short till I can put my thoughts together and make an actual video. But go see the movie as soon as you can because I want to talk to every single person about it, and I love it so much, and I love you. Star Wars. May the Force be with every one of you. You hear me? Happy boy driving home tonight.